welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Coyote Swap Foxbody done by Hennessey. It come out really good. This is my friend Wes's car. Wes is going to jump in the frame.
How y'all doing?
This is his pride of joy, and today we're going to do a full review of the car, show you everything, and at the end stick around because we're going to show you we're going to tell you a really good story of how this car came about and why Hennessey did it. So don't miss, stay to the end. So this is my buddy Wes, and we're going to review his car. But first, we're going to start at the outside. So Wes, what do you want to start on the outside that you think is one of the best features on the car that you like right now?
Well, obviously I like the color. I mean, I think Ford white that they came out with, especially this style, I've always been a huge fan of. And I think everything that's with the car just matches to that color. That's the biggest thing I like about the car. As
far as the outside, what else have you modified? I see you got the wheels. These are the 17x9 03 Cobras. And then, of course, the back, you got the 17x10.5s.
Yeah, they're 17 by 10 and a half the back, 17 by 9s, the 315 35s, 275 35s, SN 95 rear end, 373 rear gears.
Do you have any rubbing issues in the car? Like when
we first got it back, yeah, it rubbed a little bit on the one side, but then we rolled the fender, and then that pretty much went away.
Okay.
Yeah, when we first got it back, there was a little bit of rubbing on that one side, but a good friend of mine already rolled the fenders, and we haven't had no problems since.
And as far as the outside, the car's been totally repainted, right?
Yeah, it's been repainted. Basically, when John Hennessey, the Ford Motor Company, they redid the car, they basically tore it down to the basic core.
So bare metal, we painted it, took off all the trims, did everything.
Yeah, tail, hood, suspension, hood was taken off, all the interior was taken out, dash was taken out, everything.
Man, because it looks really good from the outside. And as you can tell, also he has the LMR door handles. That's something I need to do. If you look from the side, I love it because on the side, it just makes it clear, smooth. It's one good feature.
Yeah, my buddy Adam Villalobos, we did this after we got the car back. We just did this about 6 months ago. He painted it and added those. I think it made a big difference. The other handles were just a regular black, and they stuck out. I mean, they didn't look bad, but I saw these and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have it. It makes the car look way freaking better.
It's nice, and I've had several guys like come up to me and said, man, I didn't think I was gonna do them, but I've seen them on your car, I'm gonna do them.
Yeah, after seeing your car, now actually I want to do it because it looks real good.
Yes, so it came out pretty nice.
And as far as the other outside, you have the cow hood. Is this a fiberglass or is this what is this?
Yeah, this is the cow. It's the heat reduction hood. We added that. We had the 3-inch, but I had some cracking issues underneath, so we replaced it. We got this from I think it was LMR. We got it from them. We cleaned up the drain on the windshield. We put the splitter. We put the Cobra insert. That also helps with the car run a little cooler. It's getting more cool air to hit the radiator.
Yeah, let it open up a little bit.
My friend Adam also, he painted the splitter to match the mirrors and the drain. At first we put it on, it was just a flat black. It didn't look right. We took it back off. He matched it up. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks better than having like a satin black because it actually has like a color, like a clear to it.
Bite to it.
Yeah, it looks real good. I like that.
So we like that. Came out real nice. And then, like I said, you see the car pretty much flows pretty nice. You can see on the back side. That's where we had a little rubbing, but now it's pretty much gone. Like I said, we had to roll the inner fenders. It's kind of a tricky deal. You got to have somebody you know that's pretty good.
I roll it without cracking the paint, right?
Yeah, you got to be careful, and you don't want to do something to the quarter panel. You can actually rip the quarter panel if you do it too rough. But Artie did a real good job on it, so real happy with it.
Yeah, it looks freaking good from the outside. I love the way it looks.
We had the Celine Wing whale tail ever since I had the car. We put it on way back then. Always had the LX lights. The only thing I ever played with a little bit was changing this out, putting the Cobra deal in the back, because I thought about running pipes, but I like the dumps underneath.
Nah, it looks good. It looks more like a clean look like this.
So I'm happy with the way the car looks now. I don't see us doing any more changes on the exterior. We're looking at maybe another set of rims somewhere down the road, but right now I think we're just going to run with these.
Yeah, I think these will look real freaking good.
So, and then you don't see them too much.
Nah, yeah. You don't see them too much. In the deep dish, you don't see too much.
Right.
I like how the gray offsets the black.
Yes.
The only thing maybe might look good, or maybe like a clear gloss black 03 Cobra. I think that'll look freaking, but the way it sits now, it just looks freaking good.
Yes.
And I like the clear headlights. The clear headlights look real good. Is it something you added, or did Hennessey do this?
Actually, we got the lights back. They had a little bit more of a smoke lens, and then we had issues with one of the lenses. They got a little condensation in it.
Yeah.
So we ordered a new set of headlights. Ray helped me put these in, and then he sealed the edges. And these things are almost a year and a half old already, and no problem.
Nah, it still look good, right?
Right. It made a big difference.
That looks freaking good.
Yes.
All right, as far as interior, what has been done to the interior?
Well, the carpet was new. They did the centerpiece was all new. Shifter was new. We put a new shifter knob. It had the Cobra shifter knob. We put a aftermarket 6-speed knob on it. It's got a Coyote emblem on the side. These were all original. When John redid it, they asked us what we were trying to keep. I said as much that we could reuse. The inside, I want to try to keep it looking like a 93.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, when they redo these, they kind of change some of the stuff up. And
so it's 93. It's opal gray, right?
yes.
Yeah, opal gray.
It's opal gray, and it's got the two-tone black, which you don't see too much of them.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to try to keep it original. I didn't want to change the steering wheel. Try to use everything the way the car came from the.
And they recovered the seats, right? The seats are recovered.
The seats are new. My big ass, it's kind of wearing on this side. We were looking at doing some changes with the front seats, just changing color and a little different pattern. We're going to be doing that soon, just to upkeep the car.
Upkeep it.
Yeah, but
I like how you gave me the Hennessey floor mats.
Yes, sir.
And then I'll ask you, what was the red button for again?
The red button helps us if the car sits. We can hit that. We push that in. It disengages the electrical system. Basically saves the car from wear and tear, like your alternator, your battery. The car can sit, doesn't hurt it.
Yeah.
I guess John and them thought we were gonna keep it in the garage a lot.
Hey, I know you drive that car, so you probably never use the button at all.
So we haven't used it. And then the other one is for the dash.
For the dash, you change it.
Right.
And everybody's running the Dakota digital dash as well. He has his button right there for the toggle switch. That's what switch we're talking about is mounted. There's a 6-speed shifter. If you look to the side, let me see if I can get this. I can't get into focus, but he has a little Coyote on there. But if you look, guys, it's a pretty freaking clean interior. Looks real nice.
Yeah, we were gonna do it about 2 months ago, and the guy that was gonna do it, he couldn't find material. Everything was short because we were looking at doing leather.
Yeah.
And we were gonna offset some different stitching. We couldn't find the material, so we put it back on hold. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
When it goes to something else, we spend it on something else. But this is going to be changed up. We're going to do something a little different.
Nah, the interior still looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a freaking nice interior.
So we're looking to do some stuff. I think the panels, I mean, it's been, 5 years now since the rebuild. We're probably going to replace panels, do different panels, but keep it OEM. The only thing that we're looking to change is probably doing the seats a little different.
Are you gonna change the color, or just try to redo them?
We're gonna keep the color, but we're gonna change how it is. We're probably gonna do that leather.
Oh, okay, like a gray opal leather.
Yeah, and then put like the Ford mobile, the Ford emblem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that look real good.
Piece. So that's what we're looking at doing. We'll probably do the front 2 seats and then just leave the back seat alone.
Yeah, leave the back one alone.
Yeah.
Usually we don't worry about the back seat too much. Ain't nobody gonna see it. I haven't even done mine. Yeah, so we're not really gonna worry about it.
So, yeah. But yes, they did a lot of work on this car when they did it.
Yeah, it looks freaking good. It looks real good. Right now we'll pop the engine and we'll show you the price, the heart and soul of this car right now. Here it is, guys, the Gen 3 Coyote swap in all its full glory. I see did you paint match this as well, or did something Hennessey did?
Andy Villalobos, when we did the splitter, he did the hood, did that. He also offset that because for the longest time it was just the black cover.
Yeah. So
we wanted to do something just to change it up a little bit, and he did that while we were doing all the other additions. So I mean, obviously, like I said, he
it looks good.
Did a good job.
As far as engine wise, what else performance have you done to it? What else is done to it? I see the cold air.
The cold air, it's got the Cook's exhaust, full exhaust. Outside of that, it's just a stock Gen 3. I think when they dynoed it, it was like, I don't know, right around 480 or something.
Hey, 480 on these Foxbodies?
Yeah,
that ain't
so it's a lot.
That's not a lot. But I can see they put a bigger radiator.
Yes.
They put a bigger fan.
We're going to change this as well. We're going to go to that Dodge SRT fan.
Took off a Hellcat?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a lot, got a lot more rotation. The CFM is supposed to be like almost twice as much.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to help it run cooler. But AC, heater, power steering, power brakes, has all that. You want to take it on a ride, it'll get you there. Like I said, it's a T56 Magnum. It's got that good transmission, like a 240 something.
Yeah, for the first shift.
Yeah, first shift is pretty radical. If you want to get into it, it's there. But
it's a pretty clean setup. I like how everything's mounted. How the control pack, back in the old days when they did the Ford performance control pack, it was short. This is why a lot of times you see them mounted right here. Yeah. They extended the wires now, so I think now a lot you can send them to the back. But now it looks freaking good.
So, you know, we're kind of blown away about how this thing fit in there. But if you look on Hennessey's website, this build is actually on there, and you'll see they had to bring it in from underneath. And
oh, they did from the bottom?
Yeah, they did from the bottom, and then they brought the K members in. And you know, like I said, extensive amount of work done to make this car what it is right now.
Yeah, it came out freaking good. It looks real nice.
We also did hydraulic pins on it. You know, I was tired of putting this pin right here. It wore on that. It would wear on this. I need to get this.
Get it painted.
Yeah. But we just changed this.
You wouldn't even notice until you pointed it out.
But those are the little things that drive me up the wall. I got to get this fixed, and I just got to bring it back to Adam. He put those on. Make a huge difference when you go to open up the hood. It just picks itself up, and you ain't got to worry about it getting knocked down or anything. So
nah, it looks freaking good. I also forgot to mention he has a proportionate valve because they did the 13-inch front brakes.
Yes.
They used the SVE kit, and then they also did disc in the back
as well. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like how they did the red. The red action looks really good on it.
Yes.
It's what I tell everybody needs to freaking do this swap on a Foxbody because man, Foxbody brakes suck.
So, like I said, the coilovers, all the suspension work they did in the front and the back. I mean,
what suspension did you use? It's a Maximum kit?
Yes. Yeah, it's all Maximum Ford Motorsport, and then the coilovers are iBox.
Oh, so the iBox?
Yes.
Ah, so they actually use the good stuff, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff was pretty ridiculous when I looked at it online. It was crazy.
Clean. Let's get a good look at the engine again, guys.
And it's got about 5,000 miles on it now. It's, 5 years old. We drive it. It's locally, but I don't. Every time we go out of town, it's a trailer queen.
Yeah.
Just so we can protect it. We don't want to risk it, put it on a highway.
Nah, I would trailer too. My car doesn't even have this engine. I still trailer it sometimes. Heck yeah.
So it's babied. It stays inside. It's in the garage. You know, it's taken care of very well. My son Jacob, he's on top of this thing constantly. So
right there, that Hennessey sticker, guys. All right, so tell us the story of how this car actually got done.
You know,
how Hennessey got involved.
It was weird. I had this car back in the early 90s. Had it for 6-7 years. Brought my daughter home in it. My son was already, he was already a couple years old when we bought it. My wife gave me all kinds of fits when we bought this car. She did not want this car. Obviously, growing family, this wasn't fitting the needs of having a 2 or 3 year old and then a newborn in the back, but she made it happen. Well, anyways, turns out a few years later, my wife got sick, got cancer, and it was going to be a long road in front of us. Well, the car was in the garage. We'd done a lot of modifications to it. Basically, it was just a street car. Didn't do anything for us. We really couldn't go anywhere anymore. It was just out there to play around with. So I sold the car because we needed to pay our bills, help with her recovery, make sure we got her healthy. Well, about 15, 16 years later, my son and my daughter and her boyfriend found the car for sale in Buda, Texas.
How'd they find it? How'd they find it for sale?
Well, my son, being a San Antonio police officer, he found it. He found it online somehow. And kind of find out, if I remember correctly, I think my son also had an old insurance card, so he had the
VIN and all that. Yeah.
So asked for the VIN number, turned out to be Christine. So they went up there and they made a deal with the girl, and between him, my daughter, and her boyfriend at the time, they acquired the car and they brought it home. And
so how did Hennessey and Ford get involved with this then?
Because when they brought it, the kids gave it to me, they presented it to me, and
nah, hey, go ahead, I get it.
Sorry, it's still
Nah, it's emotional. It's
So I apologize. I'll get to it.
yeah. No, it's a good story, man.
I can already hear my wife barking at me right now. Don't be crying. Don't be crying. They brought the car back home. They presented it to me, and they kind of played a trick on me. They called me, hey, I need you at the store right now, and they made it sound like they were in trouble. So I run up there like all Billy Badass, ready to fight, whatever. And it turns out they were bringing the car back to me, and they presented it to me. Well, they filmed it, and they put it on social media, and it went crazy. I mean, tons of views, tons of views. Turns out that one of the executives for a motor company saw the video. They reached out to John Hennessey all before we were talking to you and said, hey, John, I think we have something we might want you to do. So they were back and forth talking about completely rebuilding the car. Well, that time was going on. Jacob and myself were planning this, like, hey, every 6 months, every 3 to 6 months, what are we going to attack?
Yeah, do like a father-son build. Yeah.
So I was working, I'm still there, but I was working way down south in Goldfields, and I'm driving, and of course the story had gone crazy and went viral. Well, Maddie Storr from the Express News, she did a story on us when we were in the paper about the car. She called me, she was like, hey Wes, Ford Motor Company wants to talk to you. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? What do they want? That's my car. I finally got her back. And
they're like, no, Ford wants to take the car back.
What's up? Shit, I got a clean title. That was my first thought. All South Side, man. I was like, they had something on my car. Man, next thing you know, I'm talking to Henry Ford.
Oh, Henry Ford himself?
Yes.
Man.
And I'm down there in Carrizo Springs, and my phone rings, and it says Dearborn, Michigan.
I
was like, holy cow. Because Maddie was wanting approval for me to forward my information, my contact information.
Yeah.
Because Ford wanted to talk to me. Well, it was Henry Ford. And Henry Ford was like, hey, Mr. Ryan, we saw your story. Blown away.
So they contacted Hennessey, and they did the whole build.
Yes.
Did they ask you like, hey, exactly what you wanted to do, or they already had the plan like, hey, we're gonna put a Gen 3?
Well, they had an idea on what they wanted to do with the car, but like the drivetrain, the color, pretty much they asked us.
Yeah.
And I was down to I either wanted to do the Coyote or a Cobra motor, and they're like, I think the Coyote would be
better.
It would be better. They're doing builds with these cars now. There's not a lot of them, but we're seeing that it can be done. Let's do that. And then the color, I was like, hey, I want to stay with the original color. I want to stay with the original color interior.
And this is all done about 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2019.
Man.
And they took about 9 or 10 months to do the car.
Hey, I would wait all. I'll be like, hey, take as long as you need.
I didn't care. They called us. And they're like, hey, we're going to fly you up to Detroit at the Woodward Rally. We're going to give you the car back. They basically shut Detroit down. They have this big car show, and we're the center of that car show because they gave the car back to us. And this is what they handed back to us.
And they handed it down. It looks freaking amazing, man.
Yes. Yes, and then they flew us back up the next week for the Foxbody show, and we're in the center of attention with the Foxbody show, parked next to Jack Roush. And
what Foxbody show was that?
It was all Fox Bodies.
Oh, okay.
It was all Fox Bodies. The weekend before was just a Woodward Rally. That's when they gave us the car back, and basically the whole town, the whole city of Detroit shuts down and it's a car show.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of attention, a lot of exposure there. And then the following week we came back again to Detroit, and then the car was still there. We had the show, and then they shipped it home. Oh,
they shipped it to you? I was like, honestly, at that point, I probably would have wanted to drive. I was just driving. I'm like, hey, I'm taking this thing for a long cruise.
Well, hey, we were driving around in Detroit with plates on the car that had been expired for like 10 years.
Nothing happened? No one told you? They didn't say anything?
No, they didn't say nothing. And then the one guy that we dealt with from Ford, Sam, he was like, hey, don't worry about it. They kind of know the story here. They're not going to tell you anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're not going to get in any trouble. So we drove the car through town, and it was just so amazing. And everything that Ford and John did, they did it on their deal. They didn't ask us for anything. They didn't want anything. And then also Mr. Ford donated a large sum to the Cancer Society in my wife's name.
Oh man, that's freaking nice.
So
It goes to show you sometimes, man, in the world there's a lot of good things that happen amongst the bad, but we can't always forget, like, there's always going to be good people and good things happen to good people.
and it was just, I dealt with a little shame too, because it's like, man, there's so many guys out there would have done the same thing. They would have got rid of their car. They had to take care of their family. They had to pay bills. It was expendable, and it had to go. I mean, that's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
I wanted my wife to get better. I didn't want her to worry about bills. I didn't want her to worry about the kids. And honestly, when I saw the car, the guy came and picked it up. My two kids, and my wife cried more as I just watched the car. I was like, wow, it's going down the street.
Yeah.
I'm never going to see it again. And they were just bawling.
I think it might have been just part of the plan to lose it for a little while, only to get it back better.
You know, and it's weird you say that, because I think it shows that God's got a plan, and we just got to see it.
Yeah.
And man, she came back, and she came back 10 times stronger.
Yeah, with the new heart, new soul,
Knew everything.
and just looking beautiful. So I bet every time you get in this car, just put the freaking smile on your face, huh?
Well, you know, I always feel my family comes first. And yes, I mean, I'm blessed. Beautiful family, beautiful house. Yeah, I walk out in the garage sometimes, and I look at her, and it reminds me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, a lot of people say materials don't make you smile. Some of them do.
And this one does.
Some of them do.
This one does. Beautiful car, beautiful story.
And I've been grateful, man. I came back to San Antonio. Had so many people, man, that were just ready to meet me, see the car. You know, I was figuring people were going to have they were going to hate on me. They were going to hate the car. You know, it just, man, I tried to tell people I realized how blessed I was for what Ford Motor Company and John Hennessey did for my family. And
yeah,
myself.
and it came out freaking amazing. It's a beautiful freaking car.
Yes, and I even got guys that can't stand Ford. They pat me on the back all the time. I tell them all the time, hey, you want to take a ride in a real car? They get all pissed off. You know, they're Chevy guys, they're Dodge guys, but
nah, it came out freaking good.
She's a beautiful car. So, very blessed.
Yeah, it looks freaking nice. All right, guys, that concludes it. This is a review of my friend's car, Wes. He got a little emotional, but it's a pretty good story for a beautiful car. Hopefully y'all like this. I'm gonna continue more videos like this, show more stories of other friends and their cars, because we all got stories about these cars. Sometimes they go for a while, and these cars mean a lot to us. They're not just cars, they're actually like a part of us. So if you like it, please give me a like and a sub. And this car was built by Hennessey. It's my friend Wes. I'm Lee.
Peace.
Laters.